How's it going, everyone? Thank you for joining the Silent So Loud podcast. Today, we're going to talk about a Netflix special called The Greatest Night in Pop History. We're talking about We Are the World, and Denise is going to be joining us. So, I'm going to call her right now.
Hello.
Denise, what's going on?
What's up, Jay?
How you doing?
I'm doing awesome. It's nice rainy, sitting in my bed.
Yeah. Let's
What
talk
have you been up
about
to?
the Netflix special. Did you watch it?
I watched it. I couldn't stop watching it. I liked it because the 80s were the best, in my opinion.
Right. So it's called basically The Greatest Night in Pop, and I clicked on it. Netflix is just like, I always say, it's like a yard sale where you have to like rummage through everything and then you'll find something that's just great, you know. And I've watched it like three times, and it was just crazy how they piece all that together in one night. You know what I mean?
I like how I didn't know that when I was younger. I mean, I sang that song running around outside playing, and it was a song, but I never knew everything that was put into it. And I just thought it was amazing
Yeah.
how it came together.
And I think Lionel Richie, like, he hosted the AMAs, like he hosted the show, and then after that, I mean, he says in the beginning that he's like a night owl, but I mean, they went all the way till 8 o'clock in the morning because they literally only had one night where they could do that back then. One night where you could have all those artists like together. I never really thought about it when we were kids and we're watching it. You think, oh, they just all got together and recorded this song, but they only had that one night where all of them would be together. The artists of that caliber in the 80s, you can't get them all together like that, you know?
I know. I really like what they put on the door, and they mentioned it like leave your ego at the door
Right,
because Lionel Richie had actually just come in. He had just won 5 awards that night
right. And then he
from
said,
hosting.
right. And he said when he got home to his family, they're talking about the awards, and he's like, all I could think about was We Are the World. He wasn't even thinking about the award show, you
Yeah,
know?
it didn't even matter. Like, and because he was, involved or surrounded by so much talent, like it was almost like not that it didn't mean anything to him, but he just like completely had forgotten it.
Right. Yeah, and like the whole leave the ego at the door, like there's some interesting stuff that happened, and like I read like some articles about the Netflix documentary, like stuff I didn't know, like Dan Aykroyd. Did you notice like he was there? Like he was kind of there by accident. Like, did you know that? Or
I saw him there, but I didn't read into it. So, yeah, tell me what was that about?
so he was looking for him and his father because his father like helps with Ghostbusters and he's like a ghost hunter or whatever. He said that they were looking for like a money manager, like a financial guy, and somehow they went into like a talent manager's office, and it was like an accident. And then the guy told him about the recording and said you should like stop by. So Dan Aykroyd just kind of like went there, not really knowing what was going on, and like he said, he goes, he doesn't really have like this musical background as except for the Blues Brothers, but
Oh, that's right. That
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, that he's
Okay.
like that's my music background. And then what's funny is that if you look at the CD sales back then, like in the stores, when they list the artists, they list them like alphabetically, and you see Dan Aykroyd listed first because he's A, you know. But I was like, yeah, what's Dan Aykroyd doing, like standing there? So,
Wait a minute.
and,
You said CD sales. It was
or
tape
or or
sales,
or
not
yeah,
record
tape sales.
sales.
What was it? It was like what 85, so tape sales back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's listed like number one. Like they do everybody alphabetically, and it says Dan Aykroyd, and I'm like, he's the top one. And I was reading too that Eddie Murphy got invited to be there. I think it was by it was either like Quincy Jones or somebody invited him to be there, but he was like, I'm recording Party all the time, and I
Oh, that was
can't.
a good song too.
That was a good song, No, he's
Yeah.
like, I can't make it because I'm recording Party all the time. He's like, I'm an idiot for not showing up, you know? And
I think a lot of people felt like that. Like even I mean, I know he's not with us, but I think Prince wishes he would have gone in and just played that solo.
that was wild. And like I felt bad for Sheila E because she's like they're kind of like baiting her, you know. She's thinking she's
Just to
gonna
get
get like
him.
a solo, like get her like lyric that she sings on her own, and it like never happened. And they kept asking her, "Where's Prince?" You know.
I could see why she felt like that for sure.
Yeah, I think that's Prince being Prince though. Like
Yeah, he was a weird dude, so it's like that's probably literally the only lifeline they had to him.
right, and then he had that kind of like underlining like rivalry going on with Michael Jackson. So I think he was kind of like, it was more of a Michael project because him and, Lionel came up with the song. So I think that was it too. Like, I don't know if you ever saw this, but I guess Michael Jackson wanted to work with Prince and do Bad together. Did you ever hear about this or
No,
no?
I haven't heard about that either.
Yeah, there's a rumor that Prince was going to do a duet or he was going to be in the video for Bad. And do you remember the video where Wesley Snipes is in it and they're doing like that knife fight dance thing that they do? Well, they said that Michael was like explaining it to Prince and he's like, "Yeah, that sounds odd. Like I don't want to do that." And they're like he kind of like backed out on it. So, I think Prince just kind of did his own thing, you know? But definitely interesting that he just kind of like played with them all night like, "Oh, I'll do a guitar solo. I want my what did he say he wanted a room? He wanted to be
He
left
just
alone with his
Yeah, he just
guitar."
wanted to be by himself. And they're like, I like how they just came back at him and they were just like, no, we're doing this all together. Everybody's going to be in the room.
Right. Right.
Granted, they're all sweating and, hungry and
And
we're going
then
to be in this together.
and then I don't know if you knew this either, that Madonna like wanted to do it, but the guy Ken Krager was like, "No, Cyndi Lauper." Like he's like, "No, I want Cyndi Lauper. Like I don't want Madonna." I guess he thought her voice wasn't that great.
So
So
what he wanted was when they went and sang their line, he wanted everybody to be like, boom, that's Cyndi Lauper. And he felt like Cyndi Lauper had that over Madonna. But I
yeah,
disagree because I was total Madonna fan, so I would have known Madonna. There's some of them I don't know. Like who are some that you were like, oh man, I didn't even know they sang,
um,
like the Pointer Sisters and
yeah, like the one girl Kim Carnez, I think you say her. I'm probably butchering her name. She's
yeah,
the
and
blonde headed lady that sang kind of like after the Huey part. Like it was like Huey, and then who was next to Huey? Was it Cyndi Lauper next to
yeah,
Huey?
she was she because I just saw a clip on that.
Right.
It was her.
I think I
But
have
then
like order of appearance here. Here, let me look it up real quick.
well, it was just like I mean, Huey Lewis. You could definitely hear the sounds, but there were some of them I didn't know, and for him to say that about both of them, I guess he was kind of just like they kind of do the same thing, so he just picked one over the other.
Or what
And
about
he
how they
thought,
thought they kept getting background noise on Cindy, and they're like, "Who's laughing?" We keep hearing something, and it turns out it's all the crap that she had on, like
oh
her
right,
bracelets and all that junk.
bracelets and stuff.
Right, because she got emotional. She's like, "You can't be laughing at me, guys," and there's like nobody's laughing. It's your jewelry or all the crap you're wearing that's making all the noise, you know. But you could tell
Well, there
too.
was,
You could tell
uh,
like the tension was getting stronger as like the night went on, because they went all the way till 8 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
After
they
they
started at 9. Yeah.
yeah, after they've done this award show, and then they go all the way till 8. And who do you think was like the standout where you're like, oh my god, like their part's like amazing?
I mean, Bruce Springsteen, I thought, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
I could tell Huey Lewis. I was a big Huey Lewis fans. Kenny Loggins,
Hmm.
I could tell. I
Yeah,
feel like all those guys they could. Oh, Kenny Rogers too.
yeah. I thought the guy from Journey, like Steve Perry, like everybody was like raving about how he sang, and then like Daryl Hall after him. I thought they like stood out like strong. And Bruce, you
Well,
could tell,
obviously Michael Jackson too.
yeah. And Bruce was exhausted. I mean, they're like, oh, he's wrapping up his Born in the USA tour and he won't make it, but he showed up, but he said he was utterly exhausted, you know, which you
Yeah, he looked it too. He was like great at the end of it.
yeah, you could tell at the end that he's like, all right, I'm running on fumes. Like my voice is like going away. And I thought it was real neat too what they did with Bob Dylan, how they kind of like, I guess he's like shy and doesn't like being around people. So they just kind of like cleared everybody out, and Stevie Wonder like made him feel better. I thought that was
Yeah,
like
I did see that.
that was like an interesting dynamic. And
Yeah, that was cool. I know who else I was gonna say. Al Jarreau.
yeah,
So it's kind of weird, like a weird story for me, but that actually was my very first concert. I know it sounds weird because I'm like a rock star person, but my dad, likes jazz, and
uh-huh.
you can't do this nowadays, but my dad like talked the guy into letting our whole family into the concert, like someone that's just guarding the gate or whatever.
Right.
So my very first memory or concert and memory is Al Jarreau. I thought that was interesting. I could tell his voice too.
Was he the one too that they were like he kept ordering bottles of wine? Was that
That
him?
was
Or no, that wasn't Al Jarreau. That was
no. I'm trying to look right now. So I got the list. It's Lionel Richie, Stevie Wonder, Paul Simon, Kenny Rogers, James Ingram. I couldn't really tell him.
Yeah.
Do you know what he does?
I'm not sure. Not sure what he did.
Then Tina Turner, holy cow, yeah, you can tell her for sure. Billy Joel,
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
And I guess like Quincy Jones did it, like he paired them up like so good. You know what I mean? Like who would have thought that, for example, like Diane Warwick would pair well with like she's Willie Nelson.
Willie Nelson, I know.
Or like Tina Turner is gonna pair well with Billy Joel. Like I guess that's why he's like talented, because I would never think like, oh yeah, those two voices are gonna do well together, But I guess he just like knew how to like piece it out or whatever.
Billy Joel.
Yeah.
Did you hear that Randy from America's not Got Talent?
American Idol.
American Idol, like he was there, like doing stuff. I didn't even know he was like way back then.
Yeah, he's like listed in the like the overall or whatever people that were there, and yeah, Randy Jackson. And what'd you think about Waylon Jennings walking off the set? I thought that was funny, where he's like.
Yeah, he's just a country boy. He can't be.
Yeah, because like Stevie Wonder's singing in a different language, and Waylon's like, I don't think they got a song for a good old boy, so he just took off.
I know. I mean, that was a stance he felt like he had to make, but I think that they put it in there very nice. It didn't make it seem like it was any kind of other language, really. It still seemed like it was just like a nod to Africa. It wasn't like
right.
We're going around in African beats and whatever. But I think he was just unsure of it. So plus he was probably tired.
That was probably crazy. It too. That was probably it more than anything. Is that your patience is going to be kind of like gone, Because like there was that one part where Quincy Jones, like Stevie Wonder was kind of like goofing off, on a take, and you see Quincy Jones kind of snap at him, like, and Lionel Richie's like, I've never seen Quincy Jones like be like that, But I guess after you're working like the entire night and you got only that one time before people start tapping out and going away, you got to be that way. So
I think they delivered. I think because this was kind of like the American version of remember that Christmas time the UK did for Africa? Do
Yeah,
they know it's Christmas time at all?
the band was that the Band-Aid song? I
Yes.
think. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like this was our like coming back, or it was, but I feel like we delivered because either of those songs, you know, like if you hum it, someone knows what you're trying to sing.
Right.
I've even asked, students at school, they're in elementary school, and they know that song. So,
And the humming part's funny because it brings up what Michael did. Like Lionel Richie was talking about, he doesn't know how to play instruments, so he hums everything. Like he was saying in the beginning that Michael would like hum like his popular songs. He like kind of like hum the beat that he wanted, and
mm-hmm.
he's like, and then after like Michael would like hum the song, then they would put it together like on music. But he's like, yeah, Michael, he's like, he doesn't know how to play. So he's like, he hums his way through everything, which I thought, wow, that's interesting, you know?
Not exactly why to this day, if you hum it, people know it. That's funny.
That's probably why Prince is like, I'm so much better because I can play the guitar and I can play every instrument.
Yeah. Let me get my solo in here. But
Yeah.
no, they said that he made the strings and everything like at night, like the percussion, the strings. They said Michael Jackson did all that in one night.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't know. You always get that debate like, who was better, Michael Jackson or Prince? I'm like,
Michael Jackson, hands down.
yeah.
That's my side of it.
I'm torn. I'm like I like them both. You know, I favor Prince. You know, but it's like I don't know
didn't
if I
know
like
that.
the mystery of Prince, like the attitude of Prince. You know,
Mm.
I mean, I think probably Michael has like more like hits that everybody knows compared to Prince. I mean, Prince has got what, like, let's see, like Let's Go Crazy. Everybody knows that one.
1999, Little Red
1999,
Corvette,
which was genius in 1999 for New Year's.
Raspberry Beret.
Yeah, but Michael's got Thriller and Billie Jean and
PYT.
yeah. I mean, I think overall Michael probably has more songs that like globally everybody knows. But it's so weird how the '80s like did that. Like they had like, are you a Madonna girl or are you Cyndi Lauper? Are you Prince or are you Michael Jackson? Like they had
Oh
the
yeah, that's true.
you know,
They had like a person that altered the other person that you had to be like. Was it Billy Joel, Elton John?
yeah, it was like that. That's probably where they came up with Celebrity Deathmatch because it's like they had that like whoever was like top dog of whatever they'd had that rival, that like the bands, there was like Guns N' Roses or Metallica, um, you know, you just had the whole like opposition going on, and it's kind of weird. We don't have that today, I don't think, you know, but
No,
we're stuck
no,
in.
because everything's kind of like mushed, like or they even actually they pull from the past to like get cool mashups for now. That's 'cause it
Yeah,
was the best.
yeah. What's going on with
Oh,
music now?
I know. I mean, I like the new stuff, but I feel like I used to make fun of like old '80s girls, but I feel like now I'm become like an old '90s girl.
Yeah.
Also, Bette Midler. Totally forgot about her.
Oh
She
yeah, I
was
forgot about her. Yeah. Where was she? I mean, they list her, but I'm like, I never really saw her.
no,
On
I don't think that she must have had a big part like in the video. But think about that video guy too. Like when he talked in that show, like he was like I was there like all night. Like he was literally getting history.
Yeah, yeah, and he's like he pulled out that invoice, and they're like, dude, this is volunteer work, and he's like, oh,
Yeah, like he's like you can pay me now
right,
or later.
and they're like, oh, this is strictly volunteer. He's like, all right, I got a great story to tell, you know, and
That's true.
and I thought it was cool how even though they're A-list celebrities for the '80s, like they all got each other's autographs at the very end. Like, I guess They're saying that Diana Ross like caused it because she walked up to Daryl Hall, the guy from Hall and Oates, and
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, can I get your autograph? Like, I'm a huge fan." And they're like, next thing you know, they turn into like high school yearbooks where they're all signing each other's stuff. I thought that was cool, and I'm like, wow, even celebrities want each other's autographs, which I thought was neat.
Did
And
you like how they had to put the tapes and mail, like how things are so different now, but they had to put the tapes, mail them off, wait for the response, catch people on the phone, like they couldn't, there's no email, there's
yeah,
no
no
like
cell phone,
texting.
right?
It was crazy how they made that. That's why it's so incredible. But I don't even know if like kids today realize all the work that had to go into that. I didn't even realize it when I was a kid and we didn't even have all that.
Yeah,
So
when I
think
was a
about
kid, I
that.
thought they just all kind of got together and took their time and made a song. I didn't realize like
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they're like, all right, guys, we got about 10 hours to do this, and we're gonna have to do it overnight, and we're gonna have to do it after an award show because that's the only time we're all together. Which, yeah, that's just incredible for that time. It'd be incredible to do it today, but today, they could just piece it all together, you know, and
There's a
text each
means to an
other.
end. Like you just text someone and they text someone else, and it's just, I don't know. It's just, those days are definitely like, it feels like everybody wants to go back to that time because it was just like the best time, I feel like.
Well, I heard somebody on 98 Rock was talking about that, about bands need to quit piecing things together because I guess the new thing is that who cares if you're in San Francisco and I'm in, New York, whatever. If you're my drummer, you can play, and then I'll play the bass wherever I'm at, and then we just piece it all together, and we don't work together as a band, you know. And they're saying that that's happening a lot with like rock bands where everybody kind of works in their own dimension and then just put it together. But you're not getting those rock albums or rock bands that have that, you know, when's the last time we saw a new rock band that stayed together, that's how am I wording this? You get those.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like well, there's a couple out there that are kind of big. Like I'm gonna go see AJR coming up in like August. We're gonna go
Yeah,
see that.
yeah.
That's a cool band because they do the same thing, like kind of like what Michael Jackson, like they listen to sounds of things and then they just include it into their music, like
Hmm.
bang bang bang. It's like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's cool, and I think they're brothers, so.
I'm actually going to the Orpheum tomorrow night to see. You probably never heard of him. He's more of a country, kind of like a country southern rock type guy, Brent Cobb. Um, he's playing at the Orpheum. I actually saw him. I saw Chris Stapleton a couple of years ago, and he was the opening act for Chris Stapleton at the amphitheater. And
I love finding bands like that. That's
yeah,
cool.
and he was one of those guys where like I had no idea who he was before I went. It's like, oh, it's the opening act, whatever, right? And as soon as I heard him like go through a couple of songs, I'm like, this guy's awesome. Which I mean, you got to be awesome to open for Chris Stapleton. And um, I'm seeing him tomorrow night at the Orpheum, which I guess he likes to play, smaller venues or whatever, like dive. I don't know if you call it a dive bar, but you know what I mean, like a smaller place,
Yeah.
which I think is going to be cool because Orpheum, you can just there's no seats, you just stand wherever you want. But it should be fun. But alrighty, but yeah, I figured it'd be cool to get your take on it. That's why I was like, watch it, tell me what you think, because I think Netflix delivered on this one.
I loved it. I thought it was a little gem, like you said, in the yard sale.
Yeah, yeah. And how much money did We Are the World make? I mean, it's
It was like 20 million or something.
yeah,
They said it was like 20 million.
right. And
But
the other cool part that it will end on, I think, is how they said that like the whole world played that song at the same time. Like I could never see something like that happening today, where every radio station, like all these countries were like, okay, we're gonna hear this song at the same time, so the whole world is hearing the song at the same moment. I thought that was really neat. How they,
That was awesome.
yeah,
Definitely awesome. Yeah, I think we could do more stuff like that. And I did read somewhere like even though that sign was up, like check your ego at the door, like they didn't really need it. They said
yeah,
everybody's like humbled by each other, which was kind of what we need to all strive for too.
absolutely. All right, well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate
All right,
it.
Jay, I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Silent So Loud podcast. I hope you have a great week, a great weekend. And as always, we appreciate you listening and take care.